speaking about telling stories, I'm sitting next to someone who is way more experienced than I ever could be insofar as that is concerned. She's not only that, she's passionate about literature and is with us in her capacity as part of the Eminent Persons Group. Umam Mhlophe is with us here on the SABC News Channel, and it is such an honor. Thanks so much for popping by.
Sawubona, thank you for having me. Thank you.
You know, your voice cannot be overstated whilst we're here. You have walked the walk, you have traversed the landscape, as it were. You've interacted with the many people who I imagine need to be represented here. Let me just start off by placing where you're at as we enter day 2 of this process, which has had its fair share of challenges, let's be honest. But still, I get the sense that so many people are holding on to hope that it'll work out.
It indeed is difficult to look at how we started. It's been even glitches even before day 1. And then eventually we made it. We were here yesterday when we started, and there was this, and our languages are so good when we put it like that.
Yes.
You can't even find an English equivalent. But people started talking to one another. The singing that took place, which is unbelievable. If we didn't sing during the years of struggle, we would have all gone crazy. And sometimes when things are really, really too passionate, and the anger and frustration, then the singing brings us back together again. But we can't sing our way out of this one. It is extremely important then that to say promises have been made, summits have been held, conferences, dialogues have been held in the past, and now we're here at this national dialogue, and people from different parts of South Africa, different communities, and representing different ways of thinking, of wanting change in South Africa. Because if we don't change now, we are doomed. I think we are reaching that place at a precipice as a nation. If I feel it, I don't know if who doesn't feel it in Parliament. So I'm hoping that when the president selected all of these different people and said Eminent Persons Group, I don't know what it's called in isiZulu, but here we are hoping to be able to advise him, to be able to bug him, to be able to say, let this wagon move. Because when people talk and listen and talk and listen, after a while nobody wants to talk anymore. After a while nobody wants to listen anymore. So we should talk, we should listen to one another, but make moves. There should be short-term goals, there should be mid-term goals, there should be long-term goals. I'm one of those people who get frustrated like nobody's business when they say 2030, 2050, hello, who's going to be alive in 2050? Right. So we need to take account and be responsible about things that we promise to do, and not promise that someone else will do sometime in the future.
You know, since we started speaking about this process, I found that so many people are still unclear about the different parts that make up this national dialogue, including the place of the Eminent Persons Group. When the group was announced by the president, I think he went some way in trying to explain the role to us. But for people, I suppose, who still relatively unsure, as a member of this cohort, help us understand a bit more of the role that you're meant to be playing, and whether or not, I suppose, on a personal level, you feel the burden of making sure that this is a success.
It is very heavy. I will not play with you about that. It's very heavy, but also it is a responsibility that makes us nervous, because we are visible in society. And also, we heard the amount that was announced. I nearly fell off my chair. I'm thinking, what is this now? You can't say before Ulungi into how you're going to do this thing, but it's going to cost this amount. It should be something that gets started, and then the price tag slowly gets announced. Especially, I was grateful to know that we, 31 people who are part of this EPG, are not going to be paid. We are volunteers. I said, thank God in heaven. We can assist here, but we don't have to be taking a cent from whatever this budget is, so that we don't deal with money. We deal with making sure that those people who must make things happen are accountable. And we come from different sectors. Me, I'm a doer. I'm not one of those people who need to be in spaces where I'm heading a conference and whatever. I was designed to work, and the work I'm doing in the arts and education sector, I am doing on a daily basis before Dr. Ramaphosa announced my name amongst these names. And tomorrow I continue to do that work, because unless we go to the deep rural areas and work with those communities, we are playing. There are people who feel neglected, who feel unseen, and then there are people who have been selected in this group, who've been working in different places. Many South Africans don't know what they do. And so if by being here, people get to know what we do, and then they can say to us, where are you holding an event? Can we come and talk as well? Because these events should be happening regularly until we find different groups, different gatherings holding hands, until it becomes a big, big circle. But if we don't do that, we're going to be just talking in silos, and then at the end, maybe end of the year, we say, it was useless, it was a failure.
Sure. What also reinforces those silos and echo chambers is sometimes people feeling excluded because they can't even engage in the language that's being used, right? You and I are both Zulu speakers. Here we are waxing lyrical in English, and I wonder if Ogogo Basekhaya can follow what we're saying, because this is really about them as well. Help us, I suppose, shine a spotlight on the importance of making sure that language is also top of mind as these discussions take place.
Since the first meeting, Kunamhlope comes and says, what about language?
Yes.
The next day, the next meeting, Kunamhlope says, what about language? Because it bothers me that people speak in their mother tongues. Because even in those gatherings, when people are forced to speak in English, sometimes you don't say what is exactly in your heart, what you are bothered about, or what you feel could be a solution. Because it's not only about complaining. Sometimes it's about, hello, we have got a solution this side. Nobody is giving us the spotlight. Nobody wants to come and assist. So people need to be able to speak in their languages. And translation, it happens in churches. And we travel to different countries. When I go to South America, when I go to Sweden, I'm assigned a translator. I don't see any prominent people in society standing up on a podium and speaking Chivenda, speaking Setswana. Just speak your language and let's have subtitles. And presidents of other countries feel comfortable to speak their mother tongues. And people in our country, Babambu George, Babambu George, I'm going to speak in English, I'm educated. It doesn't help anybody sometimes. Absolutely. Because we need to reach our own people and also be reached by them when they speak to us. That's why then when I say ulalelani, nokulumani, when they work together as twins, they are able to say, siyazenza izinto zenzeke. We can make action.
Oh. Still ever so lucid and insightful, Kunamhlope. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. There'll be many other opportunities, I hope, at a personal level, to amplify your voice and the voice of those you represent. So, that's Kunamhlope, who of course is among the eminent persons who are present here and who in many ways are, if you like, a representative of the different voices that are meant to be part of this national convention, which will ultimately lead to the national dialogue.